just gets nuts.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm not positive you're alive.
Huh. Okay, I think I fixed it. Did that fix it?
I don't know. Am I supposed to fix it now?
Okay. Yep, that was it.
It.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Well, sorry about all that, folks. I'm live now. I apologize. We are here. Um, yeah. So that's 13 minutes of me painting and not knowing that I was painting. It's just been one of those days, and that's okay. I really apologize for that. Um, Hopefully, we'll see some folks jump back on. And we didn't miss anybody, but we might have. And I am super sorry about any mistake, any mess ups there. Uh, I gotta get better at the technology side of this. I'm so bad with that stuff. Hey, Mikkel. Hey, you forgot to come get your sunglasses, my dude. And I started painting again like 13 minutes ago and forgot to click the dang go live button. I uh goodness sakes. Kristen came in and was finally like, "Hey, I don't think that something's working." I was like, "Oh man, happens to the best of us, bro." Thank you, Mikhail. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I do apologize to all the viewers out there that may have been waiting. Um, and we're like, "What the heck's going on?" I think this world needs less technology coming from friend tag. Yeah, yeah, or TAG. That's maybe there is some less technology. I don't know. You can't really stop it though. It's a human nature. We always want to make things better. It's just who we are. Since we climbed out of the primordial soup, so to speak. So anyway, Mikhail says, "Yeah, I got sick and it put me behind." Oh man, that sucks. There's something kind of funky going around, and the allergies lately have been just terrible. All this wind is just brutal. So we're running the same scheme because we're making an army here, so we want the scheme saved. Texas, yeah, yeah, it is. We just can't help it, man. Humans got a human, man. You can't stop them. That's I try to teach that to my kids. People are just gonna do what they're gonna do, and the best bet is to kind of learn what people are gonna do and kind of get behind it. I don't know, or get in front of it if you can. Honestly, education calls. Hey, I understand that, my friend. Have a good one. I appreciate you stopping by. Crypto kills. Not me, the little dude. Oh no. He got sick. Oh yeah, and you're on the way to the airport now. Well, kids, they're gonna get ill. Plus, I think he was at Mother's Day out or something, wasn't he? His first contact with a bunch of other little kids. He's bound to get a little. It's good for him. Got to start building up those immunities. But it is no fun for the parents. It definitely makes our lives harder. My middle boy is now playing competitive soccer, which is exciting. Had his first practice on Monday. Didn't really talk too much about it because, you know, I kind of keep things pretty close to chest, but I'm pretty proud of him, so I thought I'd say something. He didn't ever watch any of these, so it didn't matter to him that I said it. But I want to say it because I like when my kids do cool stuff. Try to be proud of them, and that's for sure. Join the cesspool. Yeah, you got to. You got to eventually kind of. Otherwise, like they'll just get sick from everything when they're older. I've met a couple of people that like their parents didn't have them out around people, and then they get to like college and they're sick all the time. Better to do it when they're young. Although it sucks for us. Sucks for the parents. See if we can get a little bit of paint in those holes without messing our brush up too much. Remember, don't jam your brush in holes. Kind of try to get it in there and wiggle it a little bit. Just wiggle it. Mm. So same thing, like I said with the other ones. This is just a little bit smaller than our other two units we painted, which is good and not good, I guess. Good parts about it, they shouldn't take quite as long. Bad parts about it, you have to be a little bit more accurate. There's not quite as much room to mess around. Kel says, yeah, we did that to Ray and she got sick all the time. It's all sick all the time now. Older kids joined the pool long time ago. Yeah, there's something to do with it. It's definitely better to let them go and get it early because then I don't know. It's like it takes more out of their lives when they're older. You know, they have more things that they're trying to do with their lives and stuff. So it's like it's almost more annoying to the kids when you do it later. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You don't get the option. You got to do in any cases where you got to do what you got to do, man. That's always you just got to do what you got to do. Like Alistair spent, or my youngest boy, he spent a while in the stem cells treatment when he had cancer, and so he missed out on a lot of stuff when he was younger at 2 that he should have gotten. And it's been a struggle to get all that right. Some of that's developmental, some of that's biological. There's just a couple of things that we got to work on extra now that we might not have had to had he been doing the normal thing. It's crazy. He definitely gets real mad at people. That kid gets mad. It's funny. He got that from me. Sometimes I get mad. Too mad for no reason. Kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. And it didn't do any good. Being mad didn't hurt anybody but yourself, typically. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Just make sure we got everything we want done before we move on. Check all the little spots. Just a little bit in there, just to give it. Yep, because all that's got to get red. See, that's why you're going to go over it. Otherwise, you might miss something. We don't want to miss stuff if we can avoid it. Oof. Now you can hear it whistling in the screen. That's windy. You hear the screen go. It's when you know it's windy. All right, looking good, looking good. My hope is to get everything cleaned up and reset from where I've been trying to get this restructure and remove everything around here done. And I got some more decisions I got to make, but we'll see how all that goes. But once I do that, I should be able to get my printer fired back up. We got to print some stuff. I got to find a Feywild Elf and which they have a specific name. I've just forgotten it off the top of my head. Eladrith or something like that, if I remember right. But anyway, that notwithstanding, I want to get that done because I've got to print off some more characters so we can paint them up. It'd be fun to have those to go as our kind of breaks in between the sand on the inside. Breaks in between our working on these Tyranids. Man, it's a lot of Nids, guys. Especially a lot of Nids when you're working like 1 hour at a time. Good Lord. Oh, that silly refrigerator. And that's why we have it set up to where I can turn it off. I always forget about it, and then it starts up in the middle of the show. It always starts up like smack dab in the middle. That's funny. Okay. All right, that one is ready to chill out. So we're going to throw some. Might come back with the. Maybe not. Not too bad shape. This one might need it more. So we might come back with some of that Naples yellow before we throw the washes on it. Golly. My throat's all froggy. Alrighty. That's a little better. Probably should have brought some more water. Oh well. What are you going to do? I'm going to drink some coffee and make it froggier because, you know, that's a smart thing to do. Sometimes I amaze even myself. Poor choices. Oh, I guess we didn't do the inside of this one, did we? We'll go ahead and do that real quick. Like I said, I might end up coming back and turning this into that gray anyway. I haven't quite decided. But another layer of paint isn't going to hurt it if we go that gray route anyway. Because it'll just sit on there. It'll kill off that magenta like it was never there. No problem. Like I said, I might change my mind on that one. It might have to be gray. But I definitely want to get... come on. Get paint on the brush. Okay. This thing just soaks up paint too. There we go. Alright. Now we'll get back to this guy. Definitely in between that little sinewy part. I want it to be a magenta for sure. But I'm still deciding on those. I don't know. I think they'd look good magenta, but they also might look good gray. I know we want that color break for sure. It'll be bone, and then we'll have that color. Might end up deciding that like right at the end. Like I said, we may even fade it up to the purple, to where it's like the armor on top of this, so it's crunching the weapon against the armor. Most of the cutting weapons I've made into that Payne's gray, like their hooves and their claws. So we might go Payne's gray with those. Maybe not. You'll have to stick around to find out. Probably in a different episode, though. I imagine this episode will get all this magenta done. On these little angles and details. I love their little tentacle faces. It's so fun. Coming in from behind on that one. A little difficult to get there. And again, I'm cursing myself for deciding to let my kids play with them and put them we get them put together before I had a chance to paint some of these details in. But, you know, kids, I love them. I'm so glad they got to play. They were so excited. Mm-hmm. Ding, 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 ding. Especially right here. Oof, that's gonna be difficult. That's the funny thing about sculptors versus painters. I don't think sculptors always think about what it's gonna be like for the painter to paint them. And so sometimes you end up with some of these angles where when it is put together, you're like, I don't think they anticipated this getting painted while it's put together. Because it's obvious that is not how that's supposed to work. Yes. Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Any Trading Places fans out there? I love Trading Places. Great movie. Alright. Well, we're definitely going to do this little magenta here. Up to 5 views. That's for the day. 2 of them been chilling for a minute. I appreciate that for those of you who are hanging out. Hello, Miss Tappy Toes. Pupper. It's too bad she's too big for me to pick up so you can see her, because she's a real cute doggo. Yeah, you're pretty, puppy. Everybody thinks so. Everybody thinks so. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything for you to eat. I don't. Yep. No, I don't. I don't think there's anything to eat in that chair either. There's not a whole lot of food back here. We don't keep food back here because it goes bad. We keep drinks back here. I don't think you want any of these drinks, puppy. She may be looking for one of them foolish ass cats. These cats have been acting a fool today. Anytime we start cleaning up something or doing any kind of, like, if I decide I built a shelf a couple weeks ago, and the cats were just in everything. Which, is the nature of cats, but it's still kind of like, oh, get out of that. What do you want? What do you want, Blue? I don't have anything for you. But I don't have anything for you. Yeah. Just tiptoeing around. All these spaces, I want to make sure that I want to get that magenta in. I don't even know what it's blowing around out there. I don't even have a gate close enough for it to blow around like that to make it whoop. Oh wait, it might be that table. I think it's blowing so hard it's rubbing a big metal table on some slate. Which I know you can't really hear that on the mic, but it's crazy windy. Isn't it, Blue? You're still in here. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. Still just working our way around, making sure we're getting all these tops of these joints and crevices in our magenta. We'll circle back around. We'll do our washes. Well, I think we're probably going to do a little bit of Naples yellow work. There's some places that's a little thin. And then we should be able to come back with our washes. Although we probably could get away with it. They're not too bad. We might give it a shot. See what happens. Maybe we'll test one. It would definitely speed it up a lot more if I could just go from here and wash them and then put the tops on. It would go a lot faster. I feel like it should work. Since we're going to blend in a lot of that yellow later anyway. So much on these little guys. They're pretty awesome though. Lots of little gribblies, lots of little spots, little spiky bits. So I feel I was thinking about this last night about how art has gotten so interesting, but people have always kind of on the internet, people have always kind of liked watching artists. If you go to certain places in the world, and there'll be artists out in a park or whatever painting, and people will just sit and watch them paint. Sometimes they'll purchase their stuff or whatever, and it's kind of like this sort of thing is the new version of that, which I found really interesting to think about. Maybe it wasn't maybe not as interesting to everybody else since they're not directly involved with it. But it was kind of one of those. It led me from that Bob Ross thinking, like, oh well, people keep saying him, kind of like the Bob Ross of the chill and paint and try to be super encouraging and yeah. And he kind of started the idea that you could watch somebody painting live. I think there were a few other people around the same time, or maybe perhaps even before him. But he really made it. It became almost mainstream. I think everybody knows at this point. It is. Everybody knows who Bob Ross is for the most part, unless you've just been hanging out in a hole. Which, if you have, welcome to the new age, because like it's way different now. If you don't know who Bob Ross is, then yeah, wherever you came from is probably way different now than it was when he was doing his thing. That's kind of strange. Oh, I forgot to put the music on today. That's funny. As per usual, I got tore off on something else. The music is definitely helpful. Now we're like 40-something minutes into the game. Oh well. Good thing is, I think we only missed like 10 minutes of actual time, thanks to Kristen. Sometimes that works out for us, and sometimes it doesn't. But we just gotta keep trying to play the game and figure it out right until we get perfect at it. And that's anything, guys. Like anything in your life. If you want to get better, the only way you're gonna get better is if you keep trying and keep practicing. And it starts off with just learning the basics, and then once you get the basics, you master those basics. Once you get those mastered, you move on to more advanced, harder techniques, and you just build on your knowledge and keep going. Well, at least that's what I think. Weird, that thing looked bent for a second when I twisted it. It is bent. It is kind of bent. Weird. I don't know if that's me or if they came like that and I just never noticed. I don't really think they like bend as you use them. Like, I don't think that that's something that happens with paintbrushes. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I've ever had a paintbrush bend from use. But that definitely does feel like, or it looks like it's, who knows? Maybe it's my allergies. And it looks bent to me. I don't know. That's funny. I've actually been pretty happy with them. So even if it is bent a little bit, it wasn't bad. They said I think we only paid like $25 for 5 Kolinsky sable brushes. which those brushes can get stupid expensive for no reason. And that's a good point to go ahead and reiterate. You really, if you want decent brushes, you want Kolinsky Sable. Even if they're a cheap Kolinsky's, they're going to be better than cheap synthetics. But that being said, there are places for your cheap synthetic brushes. I have a pile of them myself. One in particular I keep to use for anything where I'm going to be doing some, you know, sometimes you guys got to do something that will damage your other brushes. In that case, you just kind of, you got to change your mind, you know. Change how you do it. And change the brush. Use a different brush. That way when you trash it, you're not super mad. But sometimes the only option is to jam the dang brush down inside and get it done. Yes. Looking good, looking good. Let's see, drop these base colors down on here real quick. That's funny, 2 technical difficulty situations in a row for me. I'm definitely not I'm not the tech guy. You want me to cook you a steak, or you want me to paint up some cool miniature things? I can do that. That part I can do. I got you. Tell you how to set up your computer? No. Do not ask me. I know enough to get us both in a whole lot of trouble. That's good times. Always checking that screen, make sure I'm not missing anybody chiming in. I'm usually not, but you know. One day we will. We'll all be sitting here going, oh my goodness, there's so many chats that I can't keep up. In which case I'll have to answer only the, the super chats, where they pay the money, give you the chats. They'll be able to make their chat pop up on something big. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, this guy's definitely going to need some more of that Naples yellow. He's super gray on one side. I remember I was running out of paint from the airbrush, and I was like, oh, we're just going to knock them out, and then we'll put the extra on there if we have to. So some of them didn't get quite as good of a base coat as I wanted to. I was starting to run out of mix, and I was like, man, I do not want to mix another round of paint for these couple little miniatures that I can just touch up with a brush. Yes, yes, yes. Looking good in neighborhood. Well, hopefully not your neighborhood. If you see any of these things in your neighborhood, I suggest you call the military ASAP. Not that we have any Astartes that are here capable of dealing with it, but they at least need to know. Holy crap, there's an invasion fleet in orbit. Because if you see these guys, there is definitely some ish about to go down. Remind me a lot of mind flares. It's a D&D thing. Yeah. Really get that magenta going on in there. Okay. Do. Keep working our way through these guys. It's going to be exciting to get on to another project, or whatever. We're going to take a break maybe again. I was thinking about, because in theory I could have these guys knocked out over the next 3 days. I was thinking about we might just break out and do another extra, or break episode before we go to the next units, because we still have even more Tyranids to go. Not even counting all those guys. I definitely, from now on, I'm going to start leaving the Tyranid stuff in this box. And if I take a break, I'm going to just grab my other old palette. I'm going to put it back together, the makeshift one, and it's smaller anyway, so it'll work for small breakout projects. Although I will highly recommend this Army Painter one. It even the Amazon deal I got came with 2 extra sponges and a pack of extra papers too, which is nice. And then I don't have to trim my own. It's essentially just parchment paper, so you can always just do whatever. Instead of buying expensive ones, you can just buy parchment and cut it. Probably save you like $1 or so for a pack of papers. And if you just keep parchment around the house anyway, that's what, because we bake food, and we're doing a lot of. I was a chef, so I have a lot of kitchen stuff around. So I always have parchment. So when I run out, I'll just use that. But not everybody might have parchment just laying around. Oh yeah. These guys come together way faster. Oh yes, away we go. Painting, painting, painting. At least they're lightweight. Remember when all these things used to be made out of metal? Sometimes they'd be so heavy you couldn't hardly hold them in your hand. They just fall to the floor, clunk, or stab you in the leg because they had like a sharp end. You'd be like, ow! Stab you right in the leg. That's always funny. Or well, it was in the old days. We thought it was funny. Maybe it's not anymore. It's so strange how humor changes. Things that were outrageously funny 100 years ago might be considered something that's just horribly offensive now. And usually rightly so. A lot of times things just fall out of style simply because we shouldn't have been behaving that way. But it does get to be hard to keep up with. It does get hard to keep up with it all. Because it does change, and it'll change on you quick. Part of the danger of it getting old. You get stuck behind that stuff, and then you say something out of turn that to you didn't seem like it was something, but to them, that whoever, the younger folks, it may seem extraordinarily offensive. I think the key is always to, when you cause offense, to, even if it's unintentional, to go ahead and say, hey, I am sorry. I said what I said. I did not mean it to come out the way it did. It did. I said it. My intention was this. You know, don't lie about the intention, but definitely acknowledge what your intention was, and you know, hopefully it all works out. Get a little bit of that lighter purple in there on accident. I'll just mix it in. It should be fine. Right back in here. this tail piece. Did not do this one's tail. More to this bottom of the hoof right here. And this is why you always go back through. Check your work. It's easy to miss stuff, especially when you're doing multiple. You start getting doing multiple units, it's super easy to accidentally overlook something. Just make sure you get all. We're trying to get all our little spots marked off before we hit the wash. Like I said, I'm getting it in there and I'm moving my brush around. I'm not jamming it. I'm not pushing down into the model with my brush. That's how you damage your stuff. So try your best to avoid that. If you have to jam it, like I was saying earlier, get you a brush that you can jam. And way you don't feel bad when you ruin it. Don't ruin your good brushes by jamming them into things. Buy some junk brushes for your, if you're just going to be jamming it in there anyway. Okay. 1, 2, 3 little levers ready to go, sorta. All right. I'm definitely come in here and drop just another little bit of this Naples yellow on any places where it's still just a little too gray, because we do need it to pick up some of the color from these washes. Don't worry too much about overlapping on your purple. And we don't want big globs of paint or anything sitting on there, but we're going to come back and do that purple later after we get all the everything else colored in. Like I said, focus on the places it seems like it doesn't have because the gray won't pick up. It won't pick up the browns quite as well. Don't worry about the little vents or I don't even know what these things are supposed to be little groove sets in their muscles. Right there, you can tell that's definitely a lot darker gray than it needs to be. We need a little bit of here because we really want to get those washes in and let them put some color down for us. I'm not worried about getting my Payne's gray on or any of my other colors on until I get my wash in. Gotta make sure all my Naples yellow and magenta is marked out so we can move on to the washes. Again, we're really just trying to mark them. Get enough of the paint on there to where the washes will sit on top of it and leave the proper amount of color for us. Mm-hmm. All right. That one looks pretty good. This one actually looks pretty okay too. So is this guy. I think it's just that one had a little bit too much gray poking through. We need to get a little bit of the yellow on there for it to take our washes. And these washes will be super easy. I use this little thing to make my washes. You can already see I got a little bit of them going on in already, or I had. So we're going to take a little bit of our burnt sienna. We're just going to put that in there. Move it around. We need to, since we're going to do quite a bit of wash work, we're going to make a pretty substantial amount of this wash. It's probably doesn't have quite enough paint in it just yet. Put it up here. I want to rub that paint out of that brush. Again, this is one of those things where keeping a good old cheap brush that's all tore up is going to work out for you. It's super helpful. Alright, so we got that one going. Gonna pull as much of that excess off of that paint as possible. I'm going to do the same thing with our raw umber. Do. So super thin and watery. It's not quite thin enough. Just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Back on there. Okay. Make sure we get all the paint, excess paint out. And we're going to come back in all of these surface areas that we plan on making our brown, yellow, whatever, or the magenta, yellow, highlighted stuff. However we want to call it. That guy probably needs to wait a little bit longer to dry. This one isn't normally painted, was it? It was, maybe it wasn't. Alright, so we're just trying to get these cracks. Let that dark color sit inside it. Oh. That is the washer's job, is to find the deepest crevices and sit inside them for us. Darken up the shadows. And it certainly will do that. And sometimes it takes more than one round of this wash. But this stuff is super thin. So the idea is that you kind of want it to, if it takes more than one round, it's okay, because like I said, you don't want it to leave too much paint residue in the first place. So if you made it too thick and it's sticking on there like paint, you made it wrong. And you need to look at what you did and how much water you put in there versus how much paint you put in there. Looks like there's something wrong with his rib. Like a paint fleck got stuck in it or something. Something definitely looks like it's up. Yeah, there's just a little too much paint stuck right there. If I can get that little piece out, that'll be really helpful. Make this look a lot better. Maybe completely unnecessary, but it'll help it later on when I'm trying to paint it all. Okay. I think I am going to go gray on those little spots where I was wondering about it being magenta or not. And we're bound to have missed some things, and we'll pick those up tomorrow. For today, let's get these washes started. And we'll come back tomorrow and we'll start our fade work on all our bits, our limbs, and our tentacles. Because this is where I wanted to get today. I don't want to, goodness sakes. Definitely wanted to get to having the washes put on our fleshy bits and our blonde bits. And that's the thing to remember if you're setting goals on getting miniatures done. Set goals that are achievable for you. Make sure you're like, okay, well today I want to get this, 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 and this done. Tomorrow I want to get this, this, and this done. And even if you fall short, that's okay. Set, now you know what you need to get done tomorrow. You have a better idea, better understanding of where you are. Two down, one to go. That's the guy that we put a little extra paint on. That's looks like he's nice and dry now, though. That's good. Alright. Almost done with that. Wash work for our first color. And we're doing a two-stage color here like we did yesterday with our base. Not quite the same two stages, but it is two-stage color. And we do need to probably let these dry just a bit. I think they're probably going to need another of the dark browns. So we're going to come back tomorrow and work on these just a little bit more. And we'll have her done up probably sometime next, or we'll have it done by Friday. That I can almost guarantee it. I am going to need, like I said, I'm going to need to put another couple of rounds of washes on here and kind of work on it, keeping those washes in where they need to be. And I'll do that while I work on some of these other guys, those guys. And we'll come back tomorrow with the more serious end of this. And we'll start doing the fades and getting all the limbs looking right. So, and that puts us just over an hour at this point now, which is great, even including my mess up where I was supposed to be live and I was not. And again, apologies to anybody who was waiting around for that and missed part of the show or didn't get as much of the show as they'd like. That was totally on me, my bad. I appreciate everybody who comes by. I always like to have folks who come in and say hello. So thank you so much for Fran, TAG, and Crypto Mikkel. Really appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. And big shout out to Miss Kristen, who is always my savior when things go horribly, tragically wrong. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys come see me tomorrow for more painting. And that is going to be it. We do have a little bit of an outro video, so we're going to go ahead and try to run that, which is going to be cool. I hope. It's just a work in progress. We'll get more of it done, and throw in some more stuff and make it look better over time. But I got something in there now, which is great. And so I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow, where we go ahead and finish working on these fun little guys. So I got all 3 of them we're working on, and they are getting there. So thank you so much again for coming to see me. Really, really, really appreciate it. And I'll leave you with this interesting little outro. We'll see how that works.